Hi, I'm Joshua Samano, and for my Design for Manufacturability project, I decided to make an organizer for the center console's lid of my car. The center console has this small empty pocket, and I thought it'd be great to create a little extra storage in this empty space. I started by making a mold of my center console using oven-baked clay. The clay was rolled out approximately the same thickness of the acrylic sheet which would be used. Then I created a secondary mold that fit within the first mold to allow clearance for the sheet. Once the molds were complete, I wrapped them in saran wrap and popped them in the freezer for a few minutes to harden before baking. After baking, I began to work on my vacuum former using a scrap piece of MFD board. The pieces were cut to size using a table saw. Next, the vacuum former was assembled using wood glue and a few nails. I added some caulk along the inside of the box to ensure a good seal and prevent any vacuum leaks. Then I drew a grid on the top piece of the vacuum former to use as guidelines for the vacuum holes. You could use a piece of pegboard here, but I chose to put in a couple extra minutes instead of spending money on materials. These were drilled using a 1/4-inch drill bit. With all the pieces cut and drilled, I was able to fully assemble the vacuum former. I also repeated some of these steps to create a frame for the acrylic sheet which would be used later. The acrylic sheet was stapled to the frame. I learned after the first staple that the edges needed to be softened with heat to avoid breaks and cracks. I strengthened my mold to prevent it from collapsing. I put the acrylic sheet in the oven until it softened and began to sag. Now with a household vacuum attached, I was able to vacuum form the acrylic sheet to the mold. This was my third attempt. The first attempt resulted in a collapsed mold, and the second had a large fold in the acrylic sheet. I used the Dremel to carefully cut out the custom organizer tray from the sheet and made sure it fit in the center console's lid. To finish it off, I glued a piece of fabric to the organizer and created a pocket by sewing mesh fabric to the walls. After the glue was dried, I placed strips of Velcro to the back of the organizer and inside the center console's lid, then popped it in so it was ready to go. So, with the organizer complete, I was able to put the lid back into the car, and what was empty space can now be used as storage. Thanks for watching.